So James, one more point that I would like to emphasize that about the Indian setup especially. There has been a lot of emphasis on the 5G rollout, and India is one of the fastest moving players, or rather country, to roll out 5G services. Now that has a direct impact on the B2B segment. There are a lot of IoT services which are being relied totally on these 5G services. There are smart healthcare, there's smart ambulances, there's smart education. Now, what is that enabling is that these new brands or new startups are going to reach to the customers efficiently via mobile identity, because telecom operators are gonna be capitalizing on that, and they should, rather than increasing the premium on 5G services, they should rather capitalize the revenue on these services, wherein the customer and the brands can come together more efficiently. So 5G is another point that I wanted to throw upon.
Believe it or not, we're getting close to the end of our session. In fact, very, very close. So closing words. Alik, from a practical basis, so let's say you've got a situation where you have a mobile operator that says, do you know what? It's a great opportunity. We're not doing anything at the moment today. What's the time frame? How long does it realistically take? Providing a mobile operator, you can probably actually tell us because you've done it. You've been on this journey yourself. And how long does it take to go from a situation where, okay, I'm a mobile operator, I'm not doing anything to leverage this mobile identity opportunity, and then I've actually got a solution which I've either built myself or built in conjunction with one of the people in this room. What time frame are we talking about?
So that's a question we have with every operator, to be honest. It depends. So there are certain solutions like silent verification, where we have a hosted platform as well. So in a scenario like that, it could take probably maybe 4 or 5 weeks, given the operator protocols and their...
So you just have a feed into the operator database and you do the rest. That's it.
And the other scenarios where the operators have their own platforms, which is usually the case in India, then it's solely subject to the operator, because they have their production rollouts, their staging rollouts.
So you've got your own. Have you got your own platform?
Yeah, exactly. They've had their own platform, and again, it's subjective, but I would say it could take about 2 or 3 months just for about SMV, silent verification. But the good thing here is, once you're connected, then the other data points are open.
Exactly.
Right? And there were a lot of questions.
It's an API.
Just an API. And most of the queries that came up in the earlier conversations, authentication and people receiving messages and losing money, all of that can be catered through SIM swap and simple solutions of that sort.
Fantastic. Morty, closing remarks. Yeah. Could be about this topic or anything.
Yeah, I guess extending the same topic, how soon can we produce or have this solution? Technology houses can probably, if you ask me, with the support of telcos, operators, we can have the solutions rolling out anywhere between like 9 months to 1 year. However, where is the push? It's a very hard push from the technology houses to give this solution, because we don't know the revenue model, the first movers problem, and then acceptance. I guess if at all like this has to be pushed is either through the policy by the government, then automatically everything falls in line. But for that, the country has to feel the pain, the weight of the pain decides how fast they want to push. Or some operators has to start rolling out, assessing the pain that the consumers are going to go through, with the probability of converting that into the revenue. So then there is a possibility. From a technology houses, I guess it is a matter of implementation once we have the data and approval. Fantastic. So that's what I want.
Thank you. And Ritesh, from your perspective, because I know JT Global was so early into this 10 years ago, you've been doing it for a long time. Are you seeing some really good potential for growth in this, realistically?
Yes, I think you're right, because JT is investing a lot now these days, especially in FPS, in firewall, and all other things to protect the customers and their data. And one thing what I can say is that For SMS, I would like to say something because everybody is talking about SMS, that
Please.
who will replace SMS. So as per my understanding, no one can replace SMS. Like we all are using WhatsApp, but now these days you will see that whenever you get a message from any marketing company, you just block it. You're not going to get that message in future, and that is the opportunity or the facility you have on WhatsApp, that you can block that particular message, so that in future they will not send those marketing messages to you. But in SMS, you will keep getting the message. Although now these days you have an option in SMS also that you will get an alert that it might be a potential spam message. If you want to block it, then you can block it. But somehow we don't do it, we just try to ignore it. But in WhatsApp, we just go and block that message so that we will not get it in future. So as per my understanding, maybe that we will have more competitor in future, but SMS will survive. That is what I will say.
It'll be still an important component part in
Right.
authentication, verification, ultimately determining identity. And closing remarks from you, sir?
So James, as we all know, and in the previous discussions also, it was very evident that the businesses have moved from web-based to app-based, mobile app-based, and now towards the conversational. Authenticating those communication channels is of the utmost priority, and MNOs are they are expecting customers to give as much as data as possible. Securing such information and putting all this data into a meaningful outcome to the enterprises is the key for success. So that's what is my view.
Thank you. And last one, you are the subject of this panel. So.
A lot of points. So regarding the SMS business, and I think somebody also pointed out in previous session that on an average we are sending 70 plus SMS per day. So in my view, it's more of a misuse. Personally, I don't look at SMS unless I do a banking transaction or something which I know that I'm going to receive SMS, like an OTP. So silent mobile verification is one solution to that. And coming back to Alik's point, see, when we rolled out, there were a lot of open points, a lot of concerns. That's why it took time. But now it's just a matter of onboarding. So whatever we did initially in 2-3 months, now it happens in a couple of weeks, right? And last point, I think summarizing some of the points which I heard now, operators are now thinking like platforms. And when you do that, it changes the way you look at these problems and the way you think of solutions. So you not just think about authentication, which is a partial solution, you also think about authorization.
Thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, this has been the last panel, so I'd like to thank all the speakers. And if we can conclude this panel, start with Alik. Thank you very much. Thanks for your contribution. Nice meeting you. Seeing True Sense in action. There we go. Come over here. Thank you very much. Thank you. Morty. Nice. Ritesh. Pleasure meeting you. Ishan, come on down. Nice one. Good job. And we have, again, a late entrance, so we have a blank. We don't have your name, but you put anyone's name you want on that. But it's you. Come on. Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, thank you very much all. Oh, sorry, of course. Shame on me. I've done it again. I nearly did it again. Team photo. Tighten up. Yep. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone. So that's been our last speakers of the day. Now, before we finally close the event, I'd like to introduce Sudeep Chatterjee to the stage, Chief Business Officer of Globe Teleservice. Sudeep, thank you.
Good evening. Quite a power-packed day, right? I would like to take this opportunity to thank all my delegates today. And honestly, we really solicit your presence and the contribution to make this very knowledgeable forum today. I must say, on behalf of this forum, that we had probably the best of the panelists today, whose insights were very enlightening for all of us. I remember last year, most of the discussions were surrounding around A2P, RCS, I think it was more heavy last year, M2M, I didn't hear it much this year, and of course the fraud management and associated revenue models along with it. But this year, I see the forum is diversified a lot, and that's what I was trying to kind of like figure out from all the panel discussions, that we have traction more towards like data privacy, authentication, conversational commerce, CPaaS. This healthy transformation has come prima facie, I feel, from all the service providers leaning towards a customer experience being their prime focus.